Oh, the thing wasn't on. Alright. Hello, everyone. Or whoever might be seeing this, whoever might be listening. We're back to streaming Live a Live. And, you may notice by our stat line that some things are a little different. Although, as you can see, we haven't left the spot that we are currently in. We're right next to where the rock is. There's smells everywhere. We can detect smells, as we can usually do. We're still in the caveman chapter. And we're here to finish off the secrets of the place, and especially to fight the super boss, which is very, very tricky. And it'll require you to do a couple of things. But first and foremost, you're going to want to interact with this rock here. Now, what's going to be important for this, you're going to want to press A on it, the button you assigned to A, 100 times, no more, no less. And after you're done with that, you're going to go ahead and do this. And if it shows up, and if you can hear it on the stream, you might hear something a little interesting. It was a little faint, but you could hear it. It was the sound of a door opening somewhere. But yeah, it's important to remember this sound for later. And especially now, that we are so close to the end. So I've played through a bit more of this game in my own time. Great game. Been loving the chapters. A few more than others. But yeah. As you can see, I've leveled... So, for further clarification, I've leveled up both Gogi and Gory to level 15 each. They're more than prepared to fight the secret boss. But now all we need is an extra item and a little bit of luck. And if we can get those two, we'll be pretty much done. So... this room. You're gonna need to have a bone when you enter this room. Otherwise, you will have no ability. You will not be able to get this item on this save file ever again. You'll see this very familiar-looking stone in one of the most weirdly out-of-place references to media I've ever seen. You're gonna want to interact with this stone, and then it'll ask you for an item. What you're gonna want to give is the bone, and nothing else. He throws the bone into the air, down comes a rock. The basic rock. And that's the item you get. If you do not have a bone and attempt this puzzle, you cannot get this item. And you will be kicked out of the room, and you will not be able to attempt this ever again. But as you can see, you get the basic rock, gives you a grand total of plus 60, or I guess that's 50, but 60, it gives you up to 66 IQ. No item in this game gives this much of a stat increase in any particular stat. It's incredibly useful. It's one of the best items for this chapter, and you're gonna want to equip it to Gogi, especially for fighting this guy. Now, we're gonna want to go around. We're gonna want to go pay a visit to our good old friend, the item creation guy. All right. We're gonna want to go back and have him create some provisions for us to just go ahead and top us off. Help us. It'll help us against the fight against the mammoth. It's gonna be incredibly good. Basically a necessity at this point. And since we got another bone, this made our progress all the more easy. We're gonna go up to here, and for any leftover bone and hard rocks that you have, You're gonna want to use them to create as many of these as you can. Shock caltrops. Shock caltrops are a single-use item that create a 3x3 area on the ground of electric terrain. Now, electric terrain is good because it's the highest damaging terrain type in the game. And you're going to want to create as many of these as you can hold in order to fight the boss. Just to make things as quick as possible. And for it, you need stone knives, as many as you can, and beast fangs. And upon getting these, you get shock caltrops. I'm going to create an extra 4 because I have the extra 4 stone knives. So yeah, go ahead and craft as many as you can. I had made a bit of a mistake in assuming that the Venus statuettes were going to be useful, but apparently those are charge items, so those aren't as good. All right, now we're going to want to sniff, and we're going to want to look for we're going to want to clear out, and we're going to want to look for that, exactly that. Now, I found him. No, I didn't find him. Okay. I thought I found him. There is the smell of a mammoth in this specific area of the map after you're done progressing with with all the events of the story. I went ahead and got a bit of progress done ahead of time, so you missed. So y'all watching at home, you missed just a few cutscenes, but nothing too spectacular. And it's stuff that I'm going to be able to explain to you, like, as we go. Basically, just looking through some stuff. And, yeah. You can see it's really no big deal. We're more than prepared for this. In fact, if opportunity arises, we may just, in fact, get to level 16 and get Gogi's best technique before we get there. Which will be even more useful for finishing off the guy. We got some more useless items at this point, but no matter. Yeah, but what we're looking for is the mammoth smell. So the mammoth is a special case because it runs incredibly fast around the world map. You see, it was all the way up there, and now it's nowhere to be seen. It moves that fast. Oh, sorry. Pressed the button I shouldn't have there. It moves incredibly fast. And you're going to want to catch up to him because it will not give you a chance otherwise, which is why usually you clear out these little mooks before you go out to get them. Because that way it's a little easier to, like, just kind of chase him around as fast as you can. And he moves around incredibly quick. After you've seen him once, like, he's gone. You can't, like, you have no chance of basically catching him. And he doesn't, and, you know, to top it all off, you have to mash the A button while you're running around. Otherwise, he doesn't trigger the encounter unless you're mashing A, unless you physically interact with the thing by mashing A. So right now we're just kind of clearing out the area. I would have cleared out the area sooner, but I needed to show you how to obtain the basic rock, which is why we're doing this now. It'd be a little slower than usual start of the video, or start of the recording session, but you know, you do what you gotta do. Anyway, going through this game, there's a lot of crazy, insane shit that you guys haven't even seen yet. This chapter is paltry compared to some of the chapters that we're going to be seeing ahead, but After I'm done with this one, I'm only gonna be doing another one of the simpler ones, because that one I can get the guide done pretty quickly, and I can show you pretty much everything there is to do, since they are pretty short overall. I want to go around and follow it. Follow the smell of it. Follow your nose. Yeah, this is a little... It's a little inconvenient, but you do what you gotta do, for the most part. You're gonna want to... And it's gonna be important to take down the super boss, because he gives you a very, very useful item when you do. And we're gonna want this if we're gonna want to do our best, and if we're gonna continue to show all the special content that this game has to offer. Some pretty easy enemies still. Like, we can basically just one-shot all of them. No problem. Oh. There he is. There he is! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna fucking drop a save state right now. This motherfucker right here is the King Mammoth. Now, the King Mammoth is a fucking special case. And it requires a very specific strategy to defeat. It is one of the toughest super bosses in this game because of a few things that I'm going to show you why happen. Basically, it has 1400 health. It has a 75% chance. It has a 25% chance to avoid all damage. So, and it has crazy high defenses. So your attacks aren't going to be doing much. It has about as much defense as a regular mammoth, the ones we've been fighting, but even higher. It does crazy damage itself. It has incredibly powerful and devastating area attacks that we are going to be wanting to overcome. And, in fact, it is such a piece of shit that we are going to want to do specifically one thing to beat him. We're going to want to move Gogi close enough to it, basically like right here on the diagonal, and we're gonna want to have him use this move right here, push push. Push push has a chance of paralyzing the target when you throw it out, and it's gonna be imperative for fighting this guy. Right here, we're gonna want to move Gogi about close enough to Gogi here, or to Gori would go close enough to Gogi, so we can throw out the shit pile, and we can have a poison field up, and have this happen. Okay, so as you can see right there, he used Trunk Whip. That is because the AI works in a way that, often than not, it'll prioritize targeting the things that it can target more often than not. But that does not mean that it'll always use the same moves over and over again. So what we're trying to do is bait him into using his weaker move so that he doesn't annihilate us by using his stronger move, which will kill us which will begin to show you why this fight is such a piece of shit. Basically, this thing has a very special factor, and yeah, we'll see it with a miss here, and we'll begin to see like what he can do exactly. Yeah, see, a powerful hit to be sure, but nothing super devastating, nothing that could conceivably like put it in a place of legend. Until now, of course. We're gonna put down a shock Caltrops and pray to God that he keeps using Trunk Whip. And continue using push-push and hoping that he gets paralyzed from push-push. Again, he did. So we are going to move Gory back. We're going to be keeping Gory right here. And passing to Gogi. So that he can continue using push-push over and over again. This is how we fight this boss, by the way. This is straight up, this is not optional. You need to keep this boss in check for as long as possible. Otherwise, it is basically immortal. If I manage to kill it, before it happens to show why it... There it is! There it is! Okay. So you saw it. So, Huge Explosion is an attack that basically ignores your defense. I'm gonna try to paralyze him again just so that we can get rid of that. So we can get rid of this fire terrain. Because, little known fact about this boss, it heals from fire terrain. And, another little known fact about this boss, every single time that it heals, from the fire terrain, it heals, for every tile that it is currently touching. And yeah, it's going to do this again. It's gonna keep doing that as many times as it can to maximize damage on us. And what we're gonna want to do is constantly, like, impede him from healing. Because he's basically immortal if we don't. Again, shock caltrops are mandatory in this fight. The miss is fine as long as we're dealing damage to him. As long as we're dealing damage to him, the miss is a perfectly fine outcome. And as long as we're constantly paralyzing him, it's important that we continue to do so. Right here, I'm gonna pop. I'm going to decide between. I'm gonna load this. I'm gonna save this state, just to make sure. And I'm going to make the executive decision of popping a heal. This time he's not healing from the fire field because we stopped him by putting a bunch of shock tiles everywhere. Yes, trunk whip again. Exactly. That's why we want. Gogi in there, so that he's in range for getting hit with trunk whip, so that he won't. Oh yeah, so that he won't do that. Well, yeah, so that he won't do that. And that he won't heal. Basically, we want to maximize the damage here. We want to make sure that he's not doing this. We want to make sure that he's always in range for getting damaged. We want to make sure that his healing is being cut off. And that he is not, in any way, shape, or form gaining the advantages from his own terrain. We're gonna want to sacrifice his safe position there. Gonna make sure that push hits. It fucking missed, but that's fine because trunk whip hit, so he's doing that instead, which is good for us. It's good for us that he's not actually doing the thing he's most dangerous for doing. And we're dead. So you see why this boss is a piece of shit. We're gonna want to load the state again. And we're gonna pass. We're gonna push instead of healing. Instead of healing, we're gonna push. And this stops him. Yeah, we're gonna maximize the amount of turns that we push. And there we go. One simple decision changed the whole course of that fight. Gogi's level 16, Dogetsun Gory's level 16. So, for beating the King Mammoth, 100% of the time, you will get the King's Fang, which is a very good item that you must equip on Gogi immediately because it increases your power by 20, and because only the equipment that is currently on Gogi will be transferred over to the future chapters. Now, there is a 20 to 25% chance that after you beat the King Mammoth, you will gain something called a cola bottle. The cola bottle is a very interesting item because it's a very, very good item. It gives you plus 30 speed when equipped as an accessory. However, when it is used as a battle item, and it is an infinite battle item, so you can use it as many times as you want, kind of like the Bang Bang Drum, it'll do an attack that deals 999 damage every time you throw it out, and ignores defenses completely. Safe to say that if you manage to get your hands on this item, the rest of the game is a fucking joke. Because you can just equip it to Gogi and carry it into the late game and win. And just win. Which makes sense that you basically only get it every few times. Yes, it's the dog launcher, Archgreed. Welcome to the stream. You just missed us. Defeating the King Mammoth. And now we're pretty good to go for. We're pretty good to go for the rest of the game. Or we're pretty good to go for the rest of this chapter. So the last thing I have to show you is the finale. Or the finale of Gogi's chapter. We're level 16, and we had to be, basically, to get down with him. So basically, Archgreed, just so I explain to you what went down, basically. Yes, the King Mammoth. The King Mammoth is basically one of the most notorious super bosses in this game, because it does some very fucked up shit. It has attacks. First of all, it heals from a certain type of terrain, the fire terrain. And something that I learned because of this fight is that creatures that are larger size than one tile heal for the amount that the tile heals, multiplied by the amount of tiles that they occupy. So, that motherfucker heals for about, I don't know. Since it's an 8, it's like 4x3, so 12 square tiles wide creature. So it heals for about 288 HP every time the fire effect procs. Which means that if you're using push to, the woman's been captured. At the end of the chat, if you'll recall at the end of our first recording session, Belle got captured. And we're basically getting to rescue her. In order to power level and to show off a bunch of the secret stuff, I basically went ahead and got through a bunch of cutscenes. You missed some stuff, but I'll continue to tell you about it. Yeah, the lizard don guy, exactly. Anyway, he has 2 attacks that basically invalidate your entire strategy at a certain point. And not only that, but apply the fire terrain onto the field. There's Huge Explosion, which deals defense ignoring damage, basically deals from 300 to 400 HP of damage every single time you proc it. And there's the I think it's called Eruption, which basically applies the fire tile effect to the whole screen. So, and it deals a bunch of defense ignoring damage, like about 150 defense ignoring damage to every single party member on the field. So, yeah, that guy is an asshole. But we don't have to worry about that anymore, because we have the super move for Gogi, and we already beat him and we got his item. Basically, yeah, you go. Another thing you missed was us finding the basic rock, which is you go up to that face statue where we ended off the episode the last time. You talk to it 100 times. No more, no less. And after you talk to it 100 times, you just kind of enter. You'll hear a sound on your thing, and a sound like an opening door. And then you go there, and there's a cave. You're gonna want to interact with the fucking 2001 Space Odyssey monolith. And after you do, it'll ask for an item, and then you hand it a bone. And you can only do this puzzle once per save file, by the way. Otherwise, if you do it wrong, you're locked out of the item for the rest of the game. But basically, you do it correctly, you gain the basic rock, which increases your IQ by 60. Or not 60, 50. And it's pretty good. And you want to keep that on Gogi because you're going to want to keep that for the rest of the game. Yeah. The basic strategy that you gotta employ to defeat the mammoth is using one of Gogi's techniques, one called push-push, which basically has a chance to paralyze the target whenever you hit with it. That scales up with IQ. And the more you use it, you're going to want to waste his turns, and you're going to want to craft as many shock caltrops as you can so that you can deny his healing and at the same time apply damage to the same quantity so that his 1400 health is chipped out as many times as you can. It's good. Electric terrain is especially quite good because it makes that fight a lot faster. Like, it's 32 times 12, so, like, it deals a great chunk of damage, and the 1400 HP that guy gets will go down in a breeze. By the way, we took down a bunch of these motherfuckers to save Gory's new wives. By the way, Gory has 5 wives now. Here they are. This motherfucker casually just kind of breaks open a prison and gets 5 wives. This is why I called him a Chad in the first episode. He just kind of takes. He does not ask. He's the 5th one. And yeah. We're basically done. I just wanted to... I just took the start of the video to show a couple of the secrets that you can find in this chapter. Because this is one of the few chapters that has, like, big secrets that you can show, you can go into. And it's a lot more fun for it because it's not as long as the other ones who do. But more on the ninja chapter at a much, much, much later date. For now, let's finish the caveman chapter and we'll get into the next one as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Once again, we're met with that glorious back sprite. We're gonna just go ahead and try bashing him a couple of times. He's gonna counter us, hit us with some shit. Yeah, that animation is pretty fucking something else. Not much more to say about that. He's gonna keep hitting us with that move. We're gonna try to, like, deal some good damage. Bonk him on the head. Ooh, buddy, boom. As you can see, we're pretty much unstoppable. By the fact that we've been basically dodging the shit out of everything he can throw at us. You'll also notice that this is straight up just unwinnable by his part. So we're just beating the shit out of him as far as we can. But if you... Oh. Hmm? Welcome to the final boss of the chapter, and yes, Lizard Dong does indeed become a party member. He's not a particularly useful one, but he works. This is ODO, the giant motherfucking dinosaur man. The final boss of the Caveman chapter. What we're gonna wanna do? Yeah, that's a fucking dinosaur, man. Biggest thing in this whole chapter, size-wise. I think that's like... I think that's a that's a straight up 4x4 at this point. But yeah, we're gonna wanna throw out a fucking shit pile. Go ahead and put him in submission. Oh, fuck! Yeah, that's not good. What we're gonna want to do at this point is take Zaki and heal the fuck out of my girl for the sake of please don't kill me. But yeah, very powerful, but a tad a bit trite if you've managed to get yourself Lala. Zaki, of course, has a bunch of ranged options, which make him fairly ideal for taking care of him. Too bad he sucks. Yeah, we're going to want to have... the safest place to be right now is right where Gogi is. Which means, like, right where he is. If you don't have Lala by this point, you're going to want to at the very least, have Wave. which will be good for healing Gogi from getting hit with a bunch of shit. But, yeah. Very important fight to level for, to deal with, for the most part. He's a very tough customer if you don't have the appropriate tools, but with them, he's not a lot of trouble at all. In fact, I think I'm about to kill him in a few seconds. Whoops, I dropped on my own head and died. Zaki, like a champ, survived that. And there he goes. Like the Namekians before him. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, Zaki is Zuko in this case. You'll see what I mean in a few seconds. So, that's the end of the Caveman chapter. Definitely one of my favorites in terms of the general aesthetic, and the presentation is really strong. The characters are delightful, as you've seen. And just, it's filled with a million moments that you'll never again see in an RPG. It has, the argument can be made that it's probably the best bridge chapter of them all, which is why I like to play it first of them, among them. It's quite good to generally get the feel for what you're handling, with secret bosses plenty, or with secrets plenty, and managed grinding, and it requires a lot of patience, but the outcome is quite good indeed. And yeah, definitely one of my favorites in this whole game. And hey, check it out! He becomes the new king of the Fire Nation. Basically. Gets the crown and everything. What a Chad. He never removes the lizard from his dong, ever. Absolute legend. Godspeed, Zaki. You beautiful bastard. Over there, check it out. Y'all were if you were calling me a liar before, just ran past. Composer Yoko Shimomura. Yeah, she composed, I don't think she composed all the tracks, but she composed the boss theme, which you were hearing a few seconds ago, called Megalomania. And composed this chapter's battle song, which is Kiss of Jealousy, in case you're interested in looking that up. Well, that's the end of that. And get the Gogi save up. Yeah. Fucked him so hard he learned how to speak. They banged so hard one of them invented the first words. So, 1 down, 6 to go. Since I told you that we were going to be trying out a short one, Oh, sorry, I whistled. Of course, you're going to want to leave Mecha and Ninja especially for later on. Because these are very long, and Ninja especially requires a lot of forethought and general just patience. So I'll have a couple of save states ready for us to delve further into that chapter when the time comes. But speaking of short chapters, we're going to go into one of my favorites. Going into the continuing the sort of time period roulette of sorts that we're going on. The Kung Fu chapter. In ancient China, an aged martial artist lives high atop a windy peak. He has begun to feel the need of a suitable successor for his technique. His disciples train hard, but only one will come to harness their master's power. Is this okay? Indeed it is. The world's destiny changes as time moves on. A style of Kung Fu, generations old, is about to fade away forever. It is called, and then you get to name it. So, this is a bit misleading because the actual canon name for the style. Yes, they made different sprites for each era. Every single era has like a bunch of different assets, and varying time. They have varying lengths and varying gimmicks. The gimmick of this one is that we're a kung fu master at the end of his life, and we're gonna name our style. Now, I don't know how to speak Chinese. I don't know if anybody who frequents these streams knows how to speak Chinese, but usually I just name it something vaguely like Chinese that I can remember, or like I stop to look up some meanings on Translate, but. The one that I named, the way that I named this style, back when I first started playing, is this. Although it's a bit misleading, the limit for the character limit for this style is actually 6 characters long. The actual name of the style is like 16 characters long, but you can only go for 6, which is a little lame, but whatever. Shaji. I would have called it Hamon, but I don't know the English but I think the Chinese name for Ripple is a little long. Shaji. To properly control it, one's mind must be as still as a lake in the dead of night. When proper focus is applied, however, even the most placid of water can become destructive. Harden both body and mind, and you will know no equal in heaven or on earth. Ha! It is as I expected.
have no longer any moments to spare for this. Before my time comes to an end, I must entrust to one of strong body and of strong mind. My Shaji! Kung Fu Chapter Inheritance.
As you can see, thus the master begins his search for pupils to inherit the art of his kung fu. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do as soon as you start the chapter is check these cupboards over here. I have some good items that you're going to want to save for later. Of course, this is important to check these little pots here because they contain healing items. And go ahead and round the back to get the one from here. I think this one's also... No, that one isn't interactable yet. Okay, you got some Kung Fu suits. Gonna want to equip them. They also made different backgrounds for each of them, and that's pretty good. You got your shoes. Such Kirin shoes, which I'm gonna save for later. And your Kung Fu shoes. Iron fists. This chapter is one of my favorites in the game because there's a great deal of customization involved in it that just doesn't exist in any other chapter in this game. And you're gonna want to look out for this. Okay, first also these little green plants. They are collectibles. They are healing items, and you're gonna want to collect as many of them as you can. Any one green plant that you see is important to collect. Let's check the sign here. To the summit of Mount Daji. And since this chapter has dialogue, you're gonna be hearing a bit of my amateur voice acting, if you can call it. The summit to town. So we have the choice, Road to Mount Daji. So we have the choice between 3 areas of the map at this point in time. Southwest, Wongtown, northeast, Yuanha Street, and in the west, the Bamboo Forest. Now, usually when I start out, I like to go to the Bamboo Forest first, because there's a lot of good collectibles that you're going to want to get there. Beware bandits to the Bamboo Forest. Might be good to heed that warning. You'll see one thing of an issue here. There's fucking tigers in this place. There's just tigers here. And you know what? They're fucking easy as shit to beat. See? Just to tell you what kind of a dude this is. Oh. This guy's quite good. He's got some really good techniques. So, the Shaji Master here has some very, very good techniques. Oh, pause it again. We got some range-specific ones. This one's not so great, but it's good for when you need certain stats lowered. This one as well lowers a lot of stats, really good for weakening certain bosses that we're going to be fighting at the end of the chapter. Lion Hand, of course, requires luck. I don't know what that means, but whatever. Squirrel Kick, one of the best ranged options for the Master and his pupils. Lao Huji Wu, which is one of the strongest techniques the Master has and can hit in a whole area around him, which is very good for your, standard targeting, considering that there's not much else in this chapter that does this kind of area targeting. And of course, this is the Fusha no Sha, which is a counter-exclusive technique that works against ranged attacks exclusively. It's one of the few techniques that you can't actually pass on to your students. You'll see why in a bit. You're gonna want to get as many of these healing plants as possible for a section coming up in a few minutes. See this fucking ninja that's flitting about. Thought I said I wanted to fucking get rid of the ninja chapter, but here we are. Lao Huji Wu scales off of your IQ instead of your strength, so the master can use it quite effectively, and it deals a lot of damage in his hands. Appears to be but simple grass.
Don't move a muscle. An old man wandering unarmed deep in the bamboo forest? You really should have known better, Gramps. Hand over all your cash and make it snappy. What'd you say? I don't carry a red cent to give the rogues like you. You trying to shoot for sympathy just 'cause you're older than some of the trees here? You're cruising for a bruising, Gramps. So, we meet our first pupil, Lee Kugo, and we fight her. To start. I do believe she's fairly easy. You just hit her with Lao Wuji Wu once. Also, yeah, Lao Wuji Wu is incredibly good for this chapter specifically because the special effect of the attack is that it locks both of your hands and your legs, so it stops people from moving, and it stops people from using hand-based techniques. So it basically just fucking annihilates them and stops them from fighting back. As you can see, very easy fight. You old bastard! You beat me! What the hell? My, but you should be ashamed of yourself, little one. However, your technique shows promise. Why not learn Kung Fu and give yourself a new lease on life? Right, Gramps. Like I'd really believe that. But you still... Ugh, damn it, I'm pissed. Alright, Gramps, I'm game. I'll learn from you. Don't expect any loyalty or anything like that. I'll kick your ass someday! If you say so, little one. Don't call me that! My name, Lee Kugo, carries much honor. All right. Don't be so angry. Smiles suit you better. You talk too much, Gramps. Come on, let's get out of here. That's our first pupil. Lee. Don't worry, Queen. I'll teach you Kung Fu. You want to... I don't have any money to give to your OnlyFans, but I can teach you Kung Fu instead. Would you take my humble offer? But yeah, Lee is our first pupil. Quite a good one. I'm impressed you figured out it was a woman from first glance, Creed, because it's a little hard with the sprite and the talk, but it's a little easier to figure out when she speaks when she gives out her little battle cry. Now that we got Lee with us, we're gonna want to get the heck out of the forest and not level up at all. You'll see why in a few. Next destination, Longtown. There's our poorly aged topical reference for the day. Beware, traveler, a crippling disease has been ravaging the town. Thankfully, we figured out a method to cure the disease.
As if the plague weren't bad enough.
People have been getting mugged a lot lately.
Since his grandma got sick, Yuan's been acting weird. As you can see here, here's a sick man at this moment.
Yeah, and it's in China, too. That's what makes it the most fucked up part of all. Here's a sick man, and you can use the healing plant to get him on his feet.
I think I'll be alright. Thank you, great master. Please take this.
And he gives you items. There's 5 healing plants, but 6 sick people. And it's important to know which ones to heal. And there we go. You got your healing plants. Oh, this is the one.
I think I'll be alright. Thank you, great master. Please take this.
Get a Chinese pot. This third one is important.
Aren't you the...
Forgive me! Huh? That was weird.
There's a bunch of nasty-looking folks camped out by the carts.
Yeah, you're gonna want to heal pretty much all these guys. And then they'll give you some shit, which is good. Healing items are always good, especially when you can't necessarily rely on it. This chapter's fairly easy and doesn't require much grinding, though, so you'll be mostly fine. Catfish Whisker is the final thing you get. And you get this lady blocking your path for a minute. Yeah, you're a little late on that, buddy. Rumor tells of a healing herb that grows in the forest. Too bad it's crawling with bandits.
Poor Yuan. Even his grandmother caught the plague.
And of course, this last guy, you'll notice we only have 5 healing items. But that's okay, because this guy's just hungry.
Whew, thanks, I was famished.
Alright, here's the cutscene.
The hell do you want? Well, come on. Out with it.
Okay.
What? Is this it? You ain't gonna make a profit stealing from the poor. Well, go on, get lost.
No.
What you say?
I did what you wanted because you scared me, but it's wrong. I can't do it anymore. You even made me mug my grandma.
I'll give you one more chance. Apologize.
No. I don't want to be a loser.
You were born a loser, monkey brain. Now get going.
No.
You're asking for it, kid. Here's a tip. Leave and you live.
Pardon me. As you can see, the master has mastered the art of Ultra Instinct, as he can just kind of phase through people.
What's your problem, you great geezer? You believe yourself to be stronger than this boy, is that correct? Well, duh. I beg to differ. You are much weaker than he. The hell are you talking about? I'm the Tiger King, and this kid's just a spindly little pile of bones. Power comes not only from the body. In my eyes, the boy has much strength indeed. You're pulling my leg, old man. I could crush the kid like a bug if I wanted. You still don't get it, do you? It's all about the mind.
Here we got a pretty easy fight against Sun Zi Wang and these two ruffians. What you're gonna want to do firsthand is just get between them and Lahu Jiwu. This would be enough to take about pretty much both of them in one hit. These guys are basically a bunch of fucking losers. They don't do anything else. They don't really do anything. You could beat them all before they even throw out a punch. Easy peasy.
Damn it! You old son of a bitch!
I remember now. This old guy, he's the Shaji master. What? Forgive me! Hey, boss!
And she comes back.
That was a very brave thing to do, young man.
Even though I stole. Oh. Please, here. Here's the money I stole from you.
Thank you, young man. Remember that power doesn't just come from the body.
Wait, sir. I want to be your student.
Sorry, but do you desire revenge? Why worry? You have already bested them.
Master. Please, Master. I'll do anything. Really, anything.
Oh, all right.
Master.
I admire your courage. I thought perhaps that you could become stronger without my aid. Your mind is already fierce, and your will to become strong is great. That is real power.
Yeah.
I haven't asked your name yet.
Oh, it's Yuan. Yuan Zhu. Nice to meet you, Master.
Yuan became a pupil.
Alright, so we got 2 now. Only 1 remains. And through process of elimination, we must head over to the town of the Wet at the east to meet our final student. This is also why I like this chapter quite a lot. Like, it's such a cool little concentrated story that really just takes you places, you know? It gives you some really cool themes and experiments with some really cool styles of gameplay. Yuan Ha Street is where we must go now.
A visit from the master. To what do we owe the honor?
Gracious.
I paid for the meal!
Somebody give me a hand! Free meal to whoever catches this guy! Gotcha! Pay up! You owe me major cash!
But I'm broke.
Yeah. Oh, master! This guy's watching on his meal! I want him punished! No way! I can't make a living if my customers don't pay! Unless you'd like to foot the bill for this deadbeat. Well, that's settled. You, give your thanks to the master. If you try this again, it'll be your arse over my fire.
A little British there for a second.
Why did you... I'm not exactly smart, so nobody would hire me. But because I'm so big, I get hungrier than most people.
you know. You ought to be proud of your body.
Huh? But people make fun of me because I'm fat. Why should I be proud of it?
It's true. You are quite unique. Despite your weight, you are agile. I'm very impressed.
That's probably because I have to run away so often.
If you come study under me, you can eat whatever you want. You will need to do some exercise, of course.
Food! I don't care what I have to do. Show me the food!
What is your name?
Semmel Hacker! Now let me have that food!
And that's our third guy. The requisite fat guy has joined our team. Now let's get the fuck back to school, please God. We're gonna be coming back to the street. Oh yeah, thanks for the help, please take this. And they just straight up just give you items for helping out. I don't know if, I forget if these guys give you anything. Nah, these guys are just excited about the free meal. Brought all of you on high.
I envy men. They can eat as much as they want.
I'm a fan. I love the way you eat without any inhibitions. Please take this.
And you get a porcelain bowl.
We're out of our famous shark eyeballs because of him. How to gather the materials? It requires a lot of patience to cook.
I haven't really settled on a good voice for that guy, but whatever. We can handle that at a later date. So, we got this. So, for the ragtag crew, we got a little simp boy, a fat man, and a badass bandit girl. I'd say we've got a pretty interesting set of choices in our hand. And yes, I do mean choices. But you'll see why in a minute.
This is my school.
It's kind of a dump, huh? So this is the place where I'll be trained.
I'm hungry already. Let's eat before anything else, Master.
I'm sorry, but first things must come first.
Oh,
Seriously, sir? We've been walking for many hours, and I, for one, am tired. You two better not be wimping out on me. Come on, let's get started.
Firstly, I'll need to reevaluate each of your skills to see where you are and where you need to be.
Right then. Let's do it. I'll take you on.
Lee. Okay, but don't go easy on me. My joints aren't all that stiff yet.
As if I'd ever give you a break.
Yeah, this story is quite good. I love it a lot. I like it a lot. Alright, first things first, yeah, these fights are fairly easy, and it's also why, I had to make sure that we held out on leveling these guys up, and that we held out on, giving them any equipment. Damn!
Whew. Who's next?
me!
After we're done, we can start preparing a feast.
Feast!
Samohaka! This guy's got big health, but Lee's the fast one. Samo's got a bunch of health. As you can see, he didn't even go into the crouch stance when he got hit by Lao Wujiwu. And he survived the second hit. So yeah, he's got plenty of health to be sure. But still no match for our good old wits. Whew. Good. Now, you on. Here I come!
Give me your best shot. Try to kill me.
Yeah! So, and Yuan Zhu. This guy's pretty intelligent, but, kind of a fucking wimp. Again, kind of a wimp. Ugh. They did better than I thought they would. This could be quite a lot of fun. I certainly wasn't expecting this. It's been such a long time since I was so physically exhausted. This it doesn't feel too bad. It's a good tired. Samo!
Is dinner ready yet?
You're still hungry.
Alright. Now, this will be a lesson in endurance. The air up here is very thin. You may have some difficulty, but you will improve faster. 4 matches should be about enough. Who should I start with? Alright. We're going to take a quick pause. I'm going to take a quick pause to grab a bite to eat because I am, like Samo, I am a little hungry. So I'll pause it here, and when I come back, I'll let you guys know, as well as explain a bit of the choices that you'll be doing in this chapter. Again, see you in a bit. Hello, hello. Is this thing on? Just to check if anyone's there, because we are in fact back. Went ahead and had a quick bite to eat, grabbed what I needed, and going to be getting started with these choices here. Now, let's just go. Before I unpause the game, I'm going to load in the guide page that tells me the choices. And let's get in now. You back? There you are, Archgreed. Alright. So, let's go through these guys one by one. The main choice of the Kung Fu chapter, and again, the gimmick of this specific chapter is admittedly a bit counterintuitive to what you would expect from a Kung Fu type thing. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pick one of your 3 students. And through these little training sessions, you're going to want to funnel as much training as you can, if possible, all of it, into one single student. As much of it as you can. The reason for this is one that I'll explain by explaining each of these guys' stats individually, and again, something that you'll come to find out when it happens. Anyway, let's go through each one of these. We got the choices: Li Kugo, Yuan Ju, and Sammo Haka. Now, let's start with the far left here, Li Kugo. So, primary stat is speed. She has the highest speed of the entire 3 by far, and the highest speed of any character in the game by a little bit. She's not the smartest, and she's not the most healthy, but she actually has a pretty decent, respectable amount of health. And power, for that matter. But what makes her quite so vicious is neither of these things. What makes her quite vicious is that of the base techniques that she starts with, she has the best out of the entire 3 cast. She has various ranged options that hit for a lot of damage, that target at very far-reaching angles that not many characters can cover. And in general, she's just a really good option to add to any sort of party, and she can hold her own pretty well in melee as well, thanks to her pretty adequate hit points. Very useful ranged attacks, and it's also why she's widely regarded as one of the best student by far in general level of circles. Let's talk about Yuan last, and talk about Sammo for the time being. As you can expect from a guy his size, he's got some pretty good bulk. He's got the highest bulk of any character in this chapter. Same goes for his vitality, which is to say his defense. That's what vitality means in this game, by the way. The lowest IQ by far out of the entire 3, so he's not very smart. So he can't use the best technique I can teach him very well. But his power and, surprisingly, his speed actually aren't all that bad in the end either. His main use, though, is as a tank. Is as one of the better tanks in this game. You want to keep him close, and his base techniques are actually not all too bad, but a lot of them require charge time, and they can be a little weird to deal with, especially one of them that I'll talk about at a later date. But yeah, if you're looking for a tank who can hold his own who can do good ranged attack, if you're running a party that can handle like ranged damage, I highly recommend Samo. Now let's talk about Yuan. So, Yuan has the highest IQ out of any character in this chapter. He also has, as I shown, the lowest hit points out of any in the chapter, even lower than the Master. Thanks to his high IQ, however, he can use the Master's most powerful technique, the Lao Hu Ji Wu, the best out of all the cast. And another especially interesting thing is that Yuan here trades the ability to have trades the ability to use powerful techniques, which the ones that he does get are actually quite good. But he can use, the power thing is he gets the most stat bonuses from leveling up. So he can get to higher levels of power than even both of these two can. Eventually to a point where he'll surpass Samo in power and even be able to match his vitality and Lee's speed. But his low hit points are always a consideration that'll keep him in a position of content. Now, how do we select these? That is a question that you must find out for yourself. I usually go with Lee. On the first decision, I went with Lee because, frankly, and one of them will, of course, inherit your ultimate move. I chose Lee the first time I went through this game, and she did not disappoint. In fact, the guide straight up just says that if you went so far to train Lee and get her to level 7 through the training sessions, and to give her all your techniques, you can basically just give her all your crap, because she's way stronger than you at the time where you get her back. Samo is interesting. He fills a very unique role as being a ranged tank that you don't really get in this out of anyone in the rest of the cast. But the charge time makes him a little bit of a contention. And Yuan, of course, has the low hit points, which means that you constantly have to baby him for the entirety of the chapter. But it does make for a fairly easy method of giving him your techniques. So honestly, I'm thinking of taking Yuan at this point. Or I'm thinking of either taking Samo or Yuan, because I've already gone with Lee and she's already previously pretty much stated to be awesome, but I needed your input on this. I decided to let you choose, Archgreed. This is the choice that I made. We're going with Samo. So, the main method of these training is going to be dedicated to teaching your most powerful techniques to all your students. Of course, Samo gets to use his technique and lower his level. There's even a priority list for the techniques that you should be teaching them. Right now, Liu Hun Po 1 is a good one to teach to Samo because it requires a lot of power and he has plenty to spare. I'm not going to be teaching him Lao Hu Ji Wu immediately because he can't really use it very well, seeing as his IQ is so low. But it should be good enough that you can just strike him as many times as you can. As you can see, he's very, very defensive. Very powerful defensively. So it takes a bit to teach him certain techniques. Thankfully, you should not be at much risk when teaching these to him. It eventually reaches a point where his stats are so low from you hitting him that he just straight up can't even deal anymore. And every time you train with them, they gain an extra bit. They gain 5 points on a specific stat tied to the exercise. We're gonna be continuously hitting him with this specific move. He's gonna hit us with pig's feet, which is a very good technique that he knows. And unfortunately also requires a charge time. But it's interesting because he also gets very good area of effect hits anyway. So he doesn't really need La Hujiwu as much as the other ones do. But yeah. It's a bit of a pain to have to, like, take him down like this in such a short, and like, take a little bit longer than most to take him down. But eventually it should be easy enough. Semohaka is level 6, Long Hu Liang Po 1 gained. It's also weird because he starts at level 6. Alright, now that he's done with that specific technique, you're going to want to give him something else. In this case, you're going to want to go for Squirrel Kick or Lion Hand. Squirrel Kick is good because Sambo doesn't really have any good, and necessarily any good techniques for the ranged game. La Hujiwu is pretty good for, like, getting in their skin, getting beneath their skin, and, like, lowering them to the point where you can hit them with the technique you want to teach them. So yeah, you're gonna want to focus on hitting him with Squirrel Kick when you get the chance. And of course, gets another one. Lion Hand. Also good for the game. Hits you with some very high damage. Okay, that's enough for today. That's all for today. We'll assemble us elsewhere in the morning. For now, get some rest.
Today, you shall learn agility by having to dodge and weave amongst the vines and plants.
Agility? Oh, I don't like this one.
Sure is hard to move around here.
Ha! This place is like home to me. Or at least it used to be.
Shall we begin?
But yeah. Very important to keep in with the time. Stream's getting a little late, but I'll let it slide for now. We should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get started.
I've been a little rough on them. I'm sure they'll deny it if I bring it up, though. My, they fell right to sleep, even on the hardwood of my floor. Where's you on?
Samo may be strong, and Lee may be fast, but I still won't let him beat me.
Yuan. You all now have a good grasp of the basics. From this moment forward, you will obtain power by fighting directly with me.
You're asking for it, Gramps.
Can we have more food after we train?
This time, I will not hold back against any of you.
Oh no.
The improvement is astounding. 4 matches should be plenty. Now, who to start with?
So we're gonna finish the training sessions and watch the few cutscenes that come after, and then afterward we'll shut off and catch this at a later date.
Food!
Master!
Are you okay?
Worry not. You are just stronger than I thought. Looks like I overexerted myself. And so, the days of the Shaji Master and his stray pupils slipped past like a quiet spring breeze. Today I will teach you how to defend yourselves. To fight properly is not merely to attack your opponent, after all. I believe you are all ready to handle the next step.
Master! Master!
No! It wasn't me this time, I swear.
What? Oh, no, nothing like that. Some thugs from Wangtown came to Yuanhua Market and...
Thugs?
Must be the Tiger King. You think that master doesn't care about Guanha? I'll take care of it.
Don't be cocky. You alone will not be able to stop them.
Or rather, while I am sure that you all could beat the stuffing out of them, one mustn't fight fire with fire. Aggression only leads to more hatred. Your minds have not been trained yet. I'm sorry.
Sir.
It's okay. I shall head to Wanha myself. Be sure to continue your exercises in my absence, yes?
Okay. So, we're going to go in this brief detour that I'm sure is nothing but a brief detour. Where nothing could go wrong, absolutely nothing at all. But yeah, this chapter is pretty good. I really do love it. Quite a lot. What's up?
Ha 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 ha! Bring the beer! Bring it food over here! Hey cutie, come here!
Chinese music stops.
It's that Shaji jackass.
You can either leave here now or you can get hurt. I'm sure you don't want that, yes?
You think I've been horsing around since we last met? I've mastered Yipo Men Kung Fu. Eat this!
By the way, they're not even remotely easy, any harder to fight. Even after the so-called months of training, they're very, very easy to take down, all of them. Every single one.
Can't be! This isn't over! Master Odie Wang Li will beat your tiny bony ass! Hey, boss!
Odie Wang Li. Yipomen Kung Fu.
Wahoo! I knew you could do it, Master. Finally, I cooked our local delicacy. Here you go, it's on the house.
Fukahire-ban.
I'll give you something. Come this way.
What? Why, you shouldn't be showing off peaches that young. Oh, my, that is a beautiful peach. A peach bun, is it not?
And then you get one.
Master, thanks. Please take this.
Yeah. And this one,
Don't touch me!
How dare they, Master?
yeah. This chapter's a little kooky in the head. Sometimes. But it's very good. Please take this. Martial Arts Town. Hey. Please take this. Meat bun. Good healing, good healing. Some good accessories for later. Lao Ju. A pot lid. Baking pot. Please take this. Sweet bun. Those are really good healing items, by the way. Oh, he just thanks because I already took the item that he would give me. Tiger Gauntlet. And this guy gives you tiger clothes. Again, one very innocent diversion that definitely doesn't indicate that there's anything wrong with anything. I'm just gonna go back to my students and see that they're all fine and waiting for me immediately, because as they're sure they are. See, look, see, the house even looks normal. See, look how normal it looks.
Yuan.
Yuan! Lee. Lee. Lee!
Samu!
Master, what in the world happened? Some guys from the Yupo men's school. We were overrun. I got scared, but me and Yuan, they stood and...
Hang in there, Samu. You'll regret this. I'll never forgive this. Hippo men, you shall rue this day.
Yeah, this is why. Both of the other pupils that you don't pay attention to fucking die at a certain point of the chapter. And only the one you paid attention to remains. Yup. Fully fucking dead. Perma-dead.
I'll be with you all soon enough. Wait for me. Now, let me show you something. Pay very close attention. I'm really too old to do this, so I'll only do it once. my breathing. My eyes. And my footwork. To your sight. And to your mind. Memorize this!
Master!
This is Shaji's final technique. Xuanya Lian Shan Quan. I bet you won't be able to do this just yet, or pronounce it, but you'll soon understand. With your skills, it won't take very long. That's it for today. Rest well.
Where are you going?
I am just going to pray for their souls.
You'll remember that at the very edge of the thing that there of the forest, that there was a thing that said to not go to a certain place. That's where we're going now. That's where the Yipo Men school is. And that's where we're ending that's where we are ending this chapter off.
Hey, old man ain't welcome here. Well, I do have an appointment. You! Little one, do you realize what sort of place this is?
You've forgotten me already?
Wonton Kung Fu's.
I've been waiting for this. My father's death will not have been in vain. I've trained hard to learn this special move. You'll feel my wrath! This is the Wonton Kung Fu's final break. Ultra Miracle Special Smash! And so he does, yeah. Alright. We're ending off here. Thanks so much for coming out. We'll finish this off after. Till then, take care. Next time. Bye-bye.